Hi guys, I'm Millabout, and this is my reasons why Cavetown is the best artist ever. Before I go into this, I'd like to just clarify this is completely subjective. I just really like Cavetown. If you don't like Cavetown, I'm probably not going to change your mind. But maybe stick around and see if I can. So first off, I think that Cavetown's lyrics are just really good. He's really good particularly at painting a picture. I often find that I can see exactly what they're trying to say. So I've got a couple of examples of this. My first one is this from Green, where he says, "Deep hook marks in rubber lips. I see your eyes in the flowers. I'll pick a bunch for your room, green and blue, to match your pictures." And I think this is really good for two reasons, because first, I can really see like what the person's room looks like because of that just nice detail that they're putting in there about what colour their pictures are, and also the fact that there are pictures in the room. And I can also see the flowers. I find that really visual. But also because he says deep hook marks in rubber lips. That's obviously imagery surrounding fishing, which it goes throughout the song, but also for me, I feel like that line is a really great metaphor for like holding on to someone that you love but hurting them, because you've got that hook that's pulling the fish to the surface and hurting its mouth, just in the way that Cavetown here is hanging on to their love, but hurting them at the same time. If you've seen the music video for Green, I shouted it out in a video a couple of weeks ago. This can be really specific as well. Like you can see in the music video where it's going to sound crazy if you've not seen it, but where the lemon and the lime are sharing their juice, and the lemon's not really giving anything back, and the lime is giving all its juice, and it gets like wrinkled and withered because it's giving all the love. That's sort of what I think Cavetown's trying to get to there, and I really like that lyric particularly. Green's also one of my favourite songs by them. Another one I want to highlight is from Cavetown version 2. Every time I close my eyes, the colours fade and change inside my mouth. It's all too loud. I sink my teeth into my fingers. Blood forms branches in the water. I just really like this lyric. I think it evokes a lot without being particularly specific. Their use of the colours fading and changing inside my mouth particularly, because like colours we can't feel inside our mouths, but you can imagine what it might be like to feel a colour inside your mouth, or you might be able to imagine what it's like to feel everything so big that you can imagine at that time that you're feeling a colour, or you just can't describe what you're feeling because it's all too much. As they say the next line, you know, it's all too loud. It's like everything, no matter what you try and do to get away from it, everything's always trying to get in, and I just think that's really effective. Also, the imagery of blood forming branches in the water is really effective, because I can see exactly what that looks like, especially because of the use of the word branches. That makes me kind of think of like dirty water, like you might have in a stream or something. So I can kind of see that and see like the blood like mixing with the dirty algae ridden water in a way that's like not healthy, not good. Yeah, it's just a really strong image in my mind, and also the music at that point is very helpful. Yeah. So my reason 2 why Cavetown is the best artist ever is nostalgia. For me, I mean, Cavetown is the reason that I am doing music in the first place. When I was about 16, 15, I started listening to Cavetown, and before that I'd kind of listened to a bit of pop music but hadn't really. I've grown up with classical music mostly. So when I discovered Cavetown, I was like, oh my god, this is a new world. And I got completely obsessed. And I just listened solidly to Cavetown for like 2 whole years. And now I have a much broader repertoire of things that I listen to, but I still go back to Cavetown all the time. I'm currently going through another Cavetown phase at the moment. And it's just very comforting for me. Because, I mean, I love their old stuff. That's obviously got more nostalgia, but even their new stuff that's coming out like now and very recently still has that feeling of nostalgia for me. Even when they're changing genre a bit, I still really just find it very comforting and lovely. My third reason why Cavetown's the best artist ever is kind of similar. It's that their fans are really nice. I can't speak for people online and I can't speak for people outside of the UK. But whenever I've gone to Cavetown concerts, everyone there has always been really, really lovely to me. Like, I've left the crowd to go use the toilet and I've come back and people have remembered where I was standing and let me come through further to the front than they are. Just because they're nice people. And it just always feels like a very supportive atmosphere. And it just feels safe, which I've not always had at other concerts that I've gone to for other artists. So yeah, I really appreciate that about Cavetown. I think that they foster a really sort of accepting, warm environment. Yeah, and my fourth reason why Cavetown's the best artist ever is the texture in their tracks. I just really, really like all the instruments that come in. I also find it quite impressive that he plays most of the instruments himself. Obviously now he has a backing band that he uses, but to begin with, you know, he would play every single instrument on every track. And that really inspires me. I try and do that on my tracks as well. Even though I'm not particularly great at the bass, I generally do play bass on my own tracks. Just because I feel that if I keep trying to do it, I'll get better. Yeah, I just really love that. And also, if you look at, again, like Green and all the different guitars that are like coming in and out, I really love the texture of that. If you break down Green to its absolute most basic thing, there's one guitar line that goes the whole way through. So if I was to sit down with my acoustic, I would just play that one guitar line because it's the easiest thing to just sing along to. But there's so much more that goes on that you basically completely lose that guitar line by the time it gets to the sort of end half of the track. But it is still going on underneath there. And yeah, it's things like that that I really appreciate. Obviously lots of artists do this, but I think that Cavetown is very good at developing the texture of their tracks. Yeah, I think it's great. My number 5 reason why I really like Cavetown is that their video music production for dummies is actually what inspired me to start producing my own music. It really, really helped me. It's very clear, it goes over the basics without being too complicated, and it just sort of feels friendly and approachable. I worked completely off that until I got to university, and sure, my production was not perfect at all, and I learned a lot when I got to university, but it was good enough that I could produce demos of a reasonable standard, and I think that's quite impressive. So yeah, Cavetown's great. If you don't like Cavetown, try again. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next week.